Today, I'd like to discuss a recent article from the Irish Times addressing why some landlords are opting to sell their properties. This topic has gained considerable attention due to factors such as tax regulations, concern about potential changes in government policies, and the fact that official statistics show record high rents. While smaller landlords are choosing to exit the market, it's essential to explore the underlying reasons behind this trend. The article provides a comprehensive explanation of why these landlords, once eager property owners, are deciding to step away from their investments. First and foremost, taxation on rental income has been a contentious issue. This has led to discussions about the overall profitability of being a landlord, with many landlords feeling that expenses, including maintenance and other associated costs, often outweigh the rental income. I don't think this is specific to the Irish market, so I'm not going to say anything about the complaint that taxation is too high on rental income. Being a landlord is not profitable. So I want to debunk this one because 42 responses is really high. Let's see what they mean here. I think they don't see any money coming in on their account every month. So they only consider expenses that they see, maybe the maintenance, they see a lot of other smaller expenses, so they don't really turn a profit in the short term. But what they really ignore is the big profit of investing in real estate, which is the capital appreciation. It's important to note that real estate investment can yield significant returns, particularly in terms of capital appreciation. Even for those who purchase properties at the market's peak, the long-term outlook remains positive, considering factors like inflation and low interest rates we had up until recently. In Ireland, we had massive capital appreciation in the last 10 years. So, of course, if you bought at the peak, you think that, it might be a bit slower, this appreciation over time. But in 20 years or so, I think you should definitely turn a profit on that. And don't ignore that with high inflation and low interest rates that we have witnessed in the last few years, you get the massive return on your investment just for that, because your cost of borrowing gets lower than inflation. Every time you pay down your mortgage, the equity in the property increases tax-free, unlike other investments, and you get to deduct the mortgage interest rates, at least in Ireland. Another key concern for landlords is the regulatory environment, specifically rent caps. These caps are not unique to Ireland, as many European countries also implement similar measures. While rent caps may lead some landlords to consider selling, it's crucial to take a holistic view of the market, considering rental yields and available opportunities. As you can see in this map of the regulations in Europe, the rent caps are not only in Ireland but also in France, but there's other measures, similar measures in other countries like Spain, Italy, Germany, and Portugal. And at the moment there's no rent controls in the UK, but we've seen some changes coming in 2024, so it's definitely not guaranteed. We can definitely say that if you want to be sure that there's not going to be rent caps for your property, you should consider investing in the Eastern European countries where rents might be low. So, of course, you might still be better off in Ireland, because the rental yields in Ireland are definitely much higher than in the Eastern European countries. If you're considering buying a property to rent out in Ireland, definitely choose an owner-occupied property. This property is not subject to rent caps. And then rule out properties that are rented for a long time and are more likely stuck at a much lower rent than current market rent. Furthermore, tenant protection laws pose a significant challenge. In some cases, landlords are unable to evict tenants when selling a property, which can lead to extended tenancies, particularly in regions with a shortage of affordable housing. Additionally, unforeseen circumstances such as the story of Jeanette Brown, we can see in this article, who found herself unable to regain her property due to an eviction ban after working abroad, add to the landlord's concern. So she says, I'm an homeless owner, and especially happened a lot to people during the recession. They couldn't find work, and some maybe just bought a property in the previous years, and they were in negative equity, so they were unable to sell, or anyway, they wanted to keep the property because, you never know in life. You might want to, at some stage in the future, come back home. So she basically worked abroad for a few years, and then at 33 years old, she wanted to go back home to her apartment, which was tenanted, and she got stuck with the eviction ban. So basically, she was couch surfing or staying with relatives or family for a while in their houses. If a tenant is already in place and you want to sell your property, you cannot evict the tenant until the end of the tenancy. So basically, until they want to stay. And as we know, it's so difficult to find the accommodation in Ireland at the moment, and you could be really stuck with tenants for a very long time because they really have no alternative, and they might not move out of your property even if you have definitely a valid reason if you want to sell your property. So selling a property with a tenant in situ will likely knock off the asking price probably about 10% or 20% of the market value. So that's why it's a reasonable reason for concern. Other reasons for landlords opting to sell include retirement planning, no longer being in negative equity, desire to free up time spent on property management. I don't fully agree with that because I think you can still hire an estate agent for managing the property. While the aspect of time management might not be as prevalent, these are some of the primary drivers behind landlords' decisions to divest their properties. For others, in case you're approaching retirement, you want considering selling to fund your retired lifestyle and enjoy a big capital appreciation and maybe switch to a more liquid investment. So that's a valid reason. I don't think I have nothing to say about this. It makes perfect sense, and a lot of landlords are just small landlords who maybe have one or two properties. They use the retirement. They might have absolutely no other retirement plan because of their circumstances or the work, and they don't have pension plan, and maybe that's pretty much the old pension, apart from the state pension, which is not that high. In summary, the decision to sell properties among landlords in the current market is influenced by a combination of taxation, regulations, tenant protection laws, and personal circumstances. Thank you for joining us today. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more informative content. Bye for now.